very warm welcome to you all on this fine day. I'm pleased to welcome you to the third session of the Women in Product Summit 2024. The Women in Product Summit, hosted by the Product Leaders Forum in partnership with the Institute of Product Leadership, presents a dynamic platform where you can share your journey, exchange insights, acquire wisdom from extraordinary leaders, and feel inspired to collectively push boundaries. Our aim is to challenge conventional leadership norms, awaken your inner potential, and shape a future that resonates with your ambitions. I'm Harleen, your host for the session. The summit consists of 3 weeks of immersive online sessions, building up to the grand finale at the in-person conference on 7th April 2024 at CMRIT in Bangalore Whitefield. We will be hearing from an array of inspirational women from all walks of life during the upcoming online sessions, culminating with a one-of-a-kind experience at our in-person conference. Today's session is going to be delivered by the remarkable Shreyasta Samal on the importance of mental health in today's digital era. As mentioned, we will be conducting multiple virtual sessions over the course of the next 2 weeks. Our next session will be led by the inspiring Soumya Rajendran, who is a writer and journalist, and she'll be sharing her inspiring career journey. The cherry on top of it all is the grand finale of the in-person conference that will take place on the 7th of April here in Bangalore. Our featured speakers, some of whom you can see on screen, and we will have many more, are all inspirational women who will share actionable perspectives on careers, products, and current challenges. The day promises to be power-packed and a unique experience that is designed to equip professionals with essential tools and knowledge for excellence in the professional landscape. You can find the link to the website for the conference in the chat window on Zoom. Make sure to register soon to secure your spot at this exclusive conference. That's a little overview on the summit and its mission. Before I start today's insightful session, I'd like to give you a quick introduction to the host of the summit, the Product Leaders Forum. The Product Leaders Forum is a volunteer-powered non-profit organization that is crafted by practitioners for practitioners. With a global footprint encompassing chapters in Bangalore, Pune, Hyderabad, and the Silicon Valley, it's a movement that is dedicated to product leadership. The forum's mission is to cultivate a vital and distinctive platform for product leaders worldwide. Through fostering diverse viewpoints and fostering rich dialogue on product thinking, the forum aims to catalyze mindset shifts, unlock profound insights, and offer hands-on learning opportunities to help enhance skills and foster peer-to-peer networks for continuous learning. You can find out more about the summit by scanning the QR code on the screen. The summit is being organized by the Product Leaders Forum in partnership with the Institute of Product Leadership. The Institute of Product Leadership is Asia's first business school providing accredited degree programs and certification courses in product management, product leadership, data science, design, strategy, and leadership. The institute has partnered with multiple universities and was founded in 2012 with a singular mission of creating 10,000 product leaders in the country. Ever since, the organization has designed and delivered programs in collaboration with various institutes, universities, and corporates to the senior working professionals to help them make career transitions into product leadership. The institute has also built and developed a community of over 3,700 plus successful alumni, leading the product, data, and design teams across the world. We're also knowledge partners for 250 plus organizations worldwide. You can find out more about the institutes and the programs offered on our website. You can find the link for the same in the chat window. And for those of you who've joined us via LinkedIn, you can find the same in the comments section. Today's session is on the topic of the importance of mental health in the digital era. Once our speaker for today presents her insights, we'll open up for questions. Please keep your questions ready. You can ask your questions in the Q&A section on Zoom. This session is also being streamed live on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. So, viewers on any of these channels, please feel free to post your questions in the comment section and we'll share them with the speaker. Here is some exciting news for all the attendees here right now. You have an opportunity to win a free digital learning course. The best asked question in today's session will get this reward. You can find you can check the link in the chat to find out the array of digital learning courses that the Institute of Product Leadership offers. The courses offered are all new age skill courses for every step of a career. Every course has been built, curated, and designed by industry practitioners. The winner for today will get to pick a course of their choice. So don't miss out on this opportunity, guys. Not only do you get to engage with our distinguished speakers, but you also stand a chance to win a digital learning course. Okay, then. Without further ado, let me kickstart this session by introducing and welcoming our distinguished speaker for today's session, Ms. Shreyasta Samal. Shreyasta is a research engineer by profession. She has mostly worked in development and R&D of human factors and stress, automotive, e-commerce, and aerospace domain. She's currently the Digitization Officer at Airbus Germany. She's an avid reader and speaks about mental health issues and also justice. Her other interests include geopolitical affairs, travel, anime, and good documentaries. We're so pleased to have you here with us today, Shreyasta.
Thank you so much, Harleen. Hi.
Great. Hi. So good to see
Hello.
you today.
Very good morning to everybody. And I'm very excited for the opportunity. Thank you so much, Institute of Product Leadership. And thank you so much, Harleen, for the wonderful introduction.
Okay. We're very excited to have you here with us. I guess the session is now yours, or the screen also.
Yes. Thank you so much. First of all, I would like to highlight the importance of mental health in the digital era. I mean, you might be wondering why is mental health has become, the talk of the town, or if we see around, as an Indian, I'm also inspired by a lot of movies and growing up watching a lot of, video things. And actually, that had also inspired my career to get into tech because I was always curious and I was always wondering how do we get all the information at one click of a button. And the new age, just going back a bit, where imagine when we were in a village or in a community where only one village had exactly one television channel and exactly one Doordarshan network, exactly one news, or maybe just that one cartoon or your one favorite speaker. And you are getting information, and then there is a community gathering in the evening, and the hustle and bustle. But fast forward a little bit, and then comes the production and ubiquitous use of television screens. Television, that was a new concept in the 70s, 80s, and a lot of R&D, a lot of work was put into to make television at least affordable for the common person, so they can tune in, and there is not one junction. Slowly it became a thing to have one of these gadgets, or it was maybe a status symbol at that time. And nowadays it's definitely coming forward to the 2024. It's your latest iPhone, it's your latest gadget. And I don't know if you follow tech news, but there are, like, virtual screens that's gonna come up. There are gonna be like sliding, you can just slide at the touch of your finger and blah blah blah. So, I mean, all this is exciting as a tech geek or a tech enthusiast. It brings out the inner child in me, which just love the remote control and everything. But unfortunately, what has happened, uh, the cognitive load or the mental health that has been affected, and it has been affected subconsciously, so much to that we don't need so much overloading of information, because you at the end of the day have only two eyes and one mind to process, right? So I would first start with the definition of mental health. According to the World Health Organization, mental health is a state of well being that enables people to cope with the stress of daily life, realize their abilities, learn and work well, and contribute to their community. Now, this is very, very important. Mental health right now, according to my research and the research, what I see from the past 5 years, including the time of Corona, is a really, really big topic. So, I mean, I would request Harleen to first, start the slides, and so we can have a very more interactive communication between me and the audience. And yeah, I will continue like that. So, as you can see, guys, on your screen, you have a pop-up that says, "Do you experience mental fatigue after a long day in the front of the PC or screen?" I mean, I definitely do, for sure. If it's a couple of minutes, couple of hours, it's fine. But if it's more than 4 to 5 hours, I start having headaches. I feel very suddenly lethargic, or I don't know. I mean, I use tech a lot, so I'll just wait for a couple of seconds more and yeah, let's just see. Hmm. Okay, so I think mostly, if I'm stopping right now, most of you have answered yes. More than 50% have answered yes. So I think we are in the same boat, and it's safe to say that I'm not alone. Okay, we all are experiencing something like this. Have you ever wondered what the reasons could be? I mean, for me, I'm having a great day. I start my mornings, and usually I also start like every millennial or Gen Z. I also start with my day with my phone, with my alarm ringing, and I'm just checking the current status. I mean, instead of the news, I also do check maybe some WhatsApp has come or something in and all. And, fast forward 10 minutes are gone and you don't even know. And you just think, what the hell just happened? Where are my 10 minutes, right? Yes, so there is a small magic trick that has happened that you did not realize, and so did I. I discovered it while I was doing my thesis or internship, or while I was building these cognitively safe applications in very, very advanced, advanced features or things that are not yet, I mean, or are still being rolled out. Rolled out is a technical term which means that a certain technology that has been tested and developed will now be available to the masses once they have the opportunity to get their hands on that gadget. So, I mean, I'm not just talking about the mobile phone, but big, big interfaces which are really used for day-to-day work life. Okay. So, coming back to the next step, I would like to introduce what is AI. So, AI is a very large general term. Artificial intelligence actually encompasses many things, not only computers. Uh, at the back of the day, it's designing and developing advanced, numerically advanced, and computationally advanced systems that help make our life better, easier, and faster. And what is together mental health and AI? Well, at the end of the day, we are the people, we as humans are the one who are going to use the AI or are going to use these advanced systems, which is cool, which is fun. You now have Google Maps, which kind of gives you the directions to even remote places. You can actually plan your remote trips to places that you might have never even thought of exploring, because now there is actually a way, a GPS navigation guiding you there. And you can actually use someone else's past results to help guide you, because that is what Google does in the end, right? So it would be, Helen, do people have access to the slides?
Sorry, Shreyasta.
Do people have access to the slides? I just wanted to uh, cover
No,
that.
would you like me to share my screen with the slides?
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
this point I would
I can do
appreciate it.
that.
Mm. So yes, I guess dear audience, as you can see with the very first slide, we can see here that there is a lot of, chaos in the mind. And before you start anything new or anything, like just any activity which is not a trained learning for you, that means like you are preparing for a new exam, you are preparing for a new trip, you are preparing for a new session, anything new, or you're just learning how to swim, learning how to drive. I mean, you know, you want to do it in your mind, you have an outcome, or techniques like visualization and all these things really help. For example, people who have phobia or anything like it's definitely it starts the first thing starts in the mind, and the most important part is to calm your mind down enough to tell your mind, yes, I can do this. And you start doing the task, and eventually it might be complex for you, but as you really train and test yourself, you will figure out, you will put in the puzzles together. And in this journey, in this particular journey that I just mentioned, that is where most of us actually start experiencing these mental health issues or these mental health problems. I've not defined mental health issues. Broadly, when we hear mental health issues, we immediately our mind focuses on to depression or things like, oh, I just forgot, oh my god, this is, I'm not able to do this, I'm not able to cope up. Okay, am I losing with the machines? Maybe yes, maybe no, we don't know. I'm not a diagnostics person. Yes, I have created AI that helps in diagnosis, makes it better and faster, but no, don't go by my words. We will keep that for the professionals. What I mean is that in our day-to-day practice, and if someone is new or just using technology, they will experience a lot of technical fallacies and a lot of human inbuilt perception fallacies. Now, these are very heavy words, so I will break it down for you, just like in the slide. So technical problems can include across different different geographic regions, and they are not in your control. For example, your internet speed, or maybe just that day you have prepared, you have tested your system, but just when you are about to go live, something doesn't work out. So we can't really do that. Even if you have tested, tried, and everything, things at the last minute do break. And that is a technical reality, I would say. At such moments, when I come across such issues where my laptop is not turning on, or the smartphone has just frozen, or the screens have frozen, in these right moments, what you can do is really instruct your mind to calm down, take a deep breath, and try for the system to work, or work with exactly what is running. And in these places, like, maybe just request your manager or the person who is leading next to you that, hey, there is a technical issue. I need to do something, because it's not very intuitive to do it. Secondly, coming to the human perception fallacies. Now, AI mainly deals with taking input from our external surroundings, which contain advanced sensors, and giving us a certain output. So as humans, we are kind of limited in the sense, I would say that we have a visual range. I will start with that. So the vision we all know from childhood is ranging from 400 to about 700 nanometers, right? Or just plus minus 50 around that. That is debatable, whatever. And sometimes even we are having certain sensory, or audio, let's say audio, uh, or speech, speech issues. Not everyone can speak very well, or I personally had such problems. As growing up, I had certain birth defects that did not allow me to speak the way I'm speaking today. And in those moments, you think, yes, that can be a limitation, but you know, these are the things that we cope up with time, and there are a lot of lost opportunities and inbuilt, coming back to vision problems, because that's the most that I have worked upon, and most of us are viewing a screen. The problem is that the human mind can only process so much information at a certain period of time. So even if you have information and the right things in front of you, you have to actively train your mind to click, to do a certain task, to do a certain response. It's just like going to the gym, or it's just like picking up that new dance lesson where you say to yourself 1 2 3 cha cha cha, and you pick up your new dumbbells or you pick up a new routine. And of course, before you do that, there is a warm up. And these are the things like, in my research I found out that we are unable to process more than, I think, 5 to 7 instructions instantaneously at a time. And once we are bombarded with so many things, it it just, your mind has a safety mechanism that automatically shuts down, and you are not able to perform a task even if you want to. And for example, there is a disruption, or there comes something out of the blue, you just don't know how to react. And in such cases, your practice or your for preparation, what maybe you have done something as a child, prepared for a essay competition or a speaking competition, or you went to special public speaking courses. Like, I definitely went to Toastmasters, and that experience helped me a lot. Sometimes, we know that we have a problem, but when we are in so much confusion, our brain actually goes into a protection mode, and it also gets into a stress, or sometimes it goes into the stress mode. So this is very popularly known as fight or flight situation. And most of the people, including me, I have also failed in these tests because we are not like trained to deal with this day to day. This is not my daily, people will say. So yeah. And on the other hand, if you see, when we talk about extreme training, in my mind comes the military. In my mind comes people who are professionally, professional athletes or professional gym trainers, or people who are into maybe martial arts or something. So in my mind, that is the training. But in the AI age, we are moving towards from a more physical based work to a more knowledge based, mind heavy activity work. So here, having your cognitive function, by cognitive function, I mean your logical reasoning, your day to day reading, your ability to react, your ability to think quick on your feet, is actually the biggest factor that will take you forward. And another thing, maybe memory will definitely play a big role. So, not maybe, for sure, memory will play a big role. And when you come across these situations, you actually start doubting yourself, hey, can I really do this? But, I have discussed it with various scientists. I'm like, today my memory is great. I've worked on it actively. I have eaten the right brain food. I have done the right brain gym training. But what if there is, an unfortunate accident? Or what about people who are born with these defects? So, Harleen, I would ask you to move to the next slide so people get a context of what I'm saying. Yes. If you're up to date with the latest information, I think you might have seen that Neuralink, the company from Elon Musk, has actually successfully helped people with issues with, paralytics or inborn problems, being able to at least walk and talk and, do certain activities which the mind, which was previously by the medical community termed as it's never gonna happen. So, and there is a lot of debate, and there is a lot of this is the gray area of mental health and AI. Hey, that are we inserting chips in our mind, in our bodies, and will they start controlling us? Because ultimately, free will is ours, right? Free will is for us to, for us to control, because at the end of the day, this is our life, our choices, what we need to do to move ahead forward, you know. So is it, according to me, is it safe to say, when you look at the results, when you look at the positive results, let's put it that way, because on the media nobody highlights the failures of the scientists, the engineers, and the medical community. You only get the output of a successful story, because that's a good story, and that is the story that sells, and that sells the technology, and that determines the future for all of us, because that's how standards are set, right? So this is very interesting, because as more and more AI technology is mainly developed for actually very critical and worst case scenarios. Keeping that in mind, and keeping such scenarios in mind, AI is developed. So keeping the human perceptions and all these things. So let me just move on to the next topic and not bother you with more of our issues and the society. Yes, now you see this very interesting slide, and it's actually one of my favorite slides. As we have evolved from our ancestors, we were previously walking with all our four hands and legs, and slowly we had the vertebrae, and now we are mostly on our computer, ticking and tacking, or maybe we are on our small screens. Do you know what do you know what it does to us, actually? Actually, it does a lot of damage in the long run. So I think maybe all of you are aware that of the 15 centimeter rule, that, hey, don't watch the screen so close, or keep a bit of distance. It does happen with laptops and your television screens. But what about tabs? What about the small smartphone? You are forced to actually squeeze your eyes into a certain display screen, which is also throwing out blue light. And blue light is the biggest secret in our industry. It's a complete hush hush and no, no, don't talk about it. You want your job, you want to continue working as a research engineer, don't talk about it. If you have a solution, bring it to us. We will implement it in the next generation of the devices that we are creating. But nobody is talking about what is happening to the present generation of the devices and the cognitive dysfunctions that it might have caused. So it is the reason that we all have glasses, including me, or you know continuously seeing or putting your time in one direction and focus on one direction actually even leads to squint eyes and such other problems. So yeah, when vision as a sensory function is not working, you will have certain perception problems, or your abilities will be not as good as a person who is out in nature, enjoying his day-to-day life, and is having a different life path altogether. So yeah, and when you come across automation, so you will see that previously, if a team of 30 engineers could do a certain task, in today's day and time, maybe you need 10. And as technology progresses, maybe we will need only 3 or 5. And imagine India being a population so huge, who is always hungry, always curious, always loves the newest things, wants to have it in their hands. What do we do? I mean, what is happening when a certain level of automation is entering the society, and suddenly we don't have jobs, and suddenly we are not good enough? Suddenly you cannot compete with the computer. Well, yes, this is our reality, and in the upcoming future, we will see this happen more and more. So, understanding human factors, I mean, human factors are ergonomic factors, and ergonomic is basically the design of how we interact, or how we interact in our day-to-day lives, or our posture, our posture, including our senses, not only our physical posture but our senses. How do we feel after being in front of the screen, and what are the healthy practices that one should have to you know uh, still maintain a optimum level of your life and have a good work life balance? So understanding human factors become very important. It's very clear that you should not slouch like the man on the screen. Try to stay as erect as possible, try to remind yourself every 5 minutes to take a break. Try to stretch your hands up like this straight and do all the stretches on the side, and um, so on. That's something that I will share a link later for everyone, and that is very helpful. Moreover, when such situations will happen, there will be a certain time period where people are not getting jobs, or maybe they are in a very good position and suddenly it's gone. You're automated from your position. I mean, you have worked very hard to come at this level, and suddenly there is a AI. And what do we do? I mean, definitely at that point, what comes in your mind is self doubt. Am I good enough? Have I done enough? I have so many degrees. I have so many extra courses that I've done. After I have put in all the nights, I have put in everything, and this is still the scenario. Is this the future outcome for us? Educated and extremely smart society is left to ponder and self doubt. What should I do? No, I mean, this is completely wrong. That's where one needs to realize that we need a mental health management system in all of these knowledge centers, and in including all of the people who are also working in domains not which are not AI, but they are using gadgets based on AI. So coming back to fatigue, and especially mental fatigue, any action, any cognitively repetitively action makes us very bored. We want that 2 to 3 minute kick. We want to watch the latest viral video, or we want to do the latest dance. I mean, why is these things so appealing, and why do big companies invest so much money in marketing and advertising to catch our attention? Because, I mean, does anyone have any idea regarding why attention is such a, maybe you can write it in your chat, why attention is the biggest currency at this point in time? Okay, maybe I'll just give you the answer. Well, human attention is a very cognitively debatable topic, because human attention is built by the perception, and perception is built by by the thoughts and by the surroundings we actually grew up with. And our thoughts and perceptions shape our world, and our decisions, actively known decision, actually shape what we want to do and achieve in life. But imagine in a scenario where you don't have these options, where the only option right in front of you is this. You don't have click button left or click button right, and you only have that one button. I mean, to me, it sounds very unfair, because life is just not left and right or one or two buttons. Life is more than that. Real life is more than, more than just two binaries that the computer people, or I would say my domain deals with. So accepting that there are problems, talking about them openly. Now this is sounds maybe sounds very well in theory, but in practice, I mean, all of us might have experienced that it's very difficult to convince people to accept that, hey, this is not realistic for me. I will need more time, because for me it is a new thing, and probably there is a deadline for you. So I would like to come to the next question. What should you do when you have unrealistic deadlines and immediate requests? I mean, how does one handle that? Harleen, could you just put up that poll? Maybe just a one word answer will also do. What do you do? Do you type SOS, or do you just shut down, or do you take a minute and you think, this is something I can do? Or maybe this is how I will solve it. Or maybe I just take my pen and paper or my favorite keyboard and Google search. It can be anything. Well, I suppose I'm not able to see the answer. Uh, Probably, Harleen, if you could just read it out loud.
Share the result. I'm doing.
Yeah, share results. Okay. Okay. Uh, yes, attention to change prospect of a customer. Correct. That's a good answer, Shriramulu. Okay, I hope I've pronounced your name correctly. And I will just come back to attention and I will just come back to all the hidden secrets of what computer scientists and market strategists and psychologists actually read and research most of their life about. So, attention is such a currency that is formed by mainly what we see and what we subconsciously pick up, maybe as a child, or maybe it was just some nice jingle or some nice cartoon or a nice meme that you could connect with. In the previous session, the previous speaker did talk about all these really cool points and how to catch the Gen Z's attention or this attention or certain segments, people's views, and make products and make services that will really try to solve their issues, or maybe it will try to increase their wants, because business people are greedy and so are humans. We all want nice things, good things to make our life comfortable, which is acceptable fact, but not up to the point where you are forced to buy something, and that's not nice. So, and coming back to the alarm example that I got up, I just see my screen and I'm just continuously scrolling off, and 10 to 15 minutes are gone. Like, imagine now we are half of the almost 40 minutes of the session is gone. What is really happening? I continuously have to see the clock, or I continuously have to remind myself, which earlier was not there. I will tell you the difference. Why? Earlier, we had dumb phones. And according to me, dumb phones were smart because you really had to press the buttons. You really had to do a physical activity. So this is called haptic. A haptic, or physical touch. You have to press something. There is a sensation. There is a reaction. Oh, I know I pressed my button. But today, you might be wondering, hey, did I call her? Hey, did I put the alarm? Hey, oh my God, I missed his or her birthday. Why do you think this is happening more and more? Do you think we are becoming, there is a talk in the town that, am I forgetting something? Hey, what happened? I mean, I'm also forgetting the birthdays and the dates. It's because we are not having once we are scrolling and we are just touching something and it's at the click of our it's at the click of our button. The loss of sensation is actually causing the loss of sense of perception of time. I'm going to repeat myself, it's a bit complex. The loss of sensation is causing the loss of perception and the loss of time, because time is quantified by us. There have been standards that define what is 1 second, what is it. And throughout our school, in a school structure or in a factory setting, you have lessons, you have sessions, and you have time period. And we, as humans, no matter how advanced technologically we are still Homo sapiens. Our bodies, our biological bodies, will still respond to this old but gold system of rituals, of having timetables, and having a sensation and perception of time. Whereas today's gadgets and AI is exactly trying to counter this perception. So, my dear friends, you're not losing memory. You are not becoming old. You're actually becoming better with time. But since you did not even know that AI has battled with this basic perception, so you keep on scrolling, you keep on buying, and you keep on losing the sense of time, and you always are feeling like, oh my God, what just happened? I become late, or I missed my trip, or I'm in a new place. Google, please show me where to go. So What do you think? I mean, when a new gadget comes, I love it. I love the scroll effect. I love that there is a nice multimedia. But don't you think we should even keep in mind that we as people need this timetable for our own biological reasons and also our own mental health reasons? I will just go to the next. I will talk about this topic about something called as micro stresses. But before that, I want to address two very important things. Number one is asking for a help and acceptance of issues. Accepting that, yes, we are moving in an advanced society. We are going to use more gadgets, but what is going to happen when there is a job loss? Who will take care of us? It's not like you're going to find a job just like that. Absolutely not. It will again take time, effort, preparation, and networking. Right. That's where LinkedIn helps in, that's great. I mean, LinkedIn has opened so many possibilities that were inconceivable, that was maybe it is that one portal that opens up and connects us from different parts of the world, right? Or different time zones. And Hegde Subaru has also written repeat loss of sensation and loss of perception. I will come back to this definitely. Loss of perception and loss of, I will just give me one more minute. And the next part is creating a very safe and fair speak up culture. You know, not all the time during the week, maybe bi weekly sessions is something that, what, we all sit for tea or we all sit for coffee and we talk about this. This new thing came up and I see from B has happened. My work is progressing, but somewhere I feel that there is a loss, there is a disconnect, right? And discuss it, make it more acceptable, make it more understanding that, this happened. What do I do? It shouldn't be like I want to, because our first reaction when a certain problem happens, when I'm not able to click the button, or when something has been misconstrued, we kind of, as a child, as school in schools, unfortunately, when you make a mistake or when you're not number one or you're not number two or you're not making it, you are kind of really rejected by that society. You are uh, taken down. Oh, you're not fair enough, or maybe you're not tall enough, maybe your voice is that not that nice, maybe you don't fit the bill. Oh, maybe we just scrap out of all that. What happens is that there is a moment of sadness, there is a lingering reaction to it, which somehow really stays with us, and this is what our spiritual gurus also say. Yeah, every day is a new day. Try to forget the past. But honestly speaking, it's easier said than done. Even if our frontal memory has really forgotten it, certain feedback or certain stresses stay in our bodies, really. The stress stays in our shoulder, the stress stays in our lungs, and the stress also moves to our stomachs and kidneys. Trust me. Sometimes it has also been observed that just speaking up or just maybe journaling or just maybe having that one friend, if you are in a society where speak up culture is not appreciated, or you are experiencing something your peers are unaware of, who do you talk to? Who do you talk to, and is it safe to express yourself? It's very challenging. I mean, I don't know. It's easier said than done. Or maybe why hasn't someone made a documentary about this phenomena or something like that? And coming back to this, for example, I have also personally changed companies where I couldn't express myself, where I couldn't say, you know what, this deadline for me is unrealistic. It's affecting my mental health. I'm having a bad day. I know I'm not able to perform. Or maybe it's for me, it's cognitively more challenging than I thought it would. If I say this, maybe I would be out in the very next settings. You know what? Your manager might perceive as that, okay, he or she cannot do it. I will just hire someone else who is good at beating around on the keyboards or who is a keyboard warrior. But that is not what it is. It is about building a speak up culture, building up a peer community where you can ask questions. be it virtual, be it where you say, where you emphasize more and more in your work culture or even in your day-to-day life that, you know what, this is a problem, I need to ask for help. And now, I mean, I believe that after Corona, I do see a lot of companies accepting this and talking about it and ensuring safety and fairness for all, because all of us are at different levels and there are different challenges. There are different challenges of, perception loss, coming back to that, and loss of perception. So as we are clicking more and more, if I don't get a report that these are my past activities, I've actually forgot what has happened. If I don't write my top three, I don't know how to communicate. If I don't really actually tell myself, if I don't personally write personal and different digital, it it's very hard. So I'm coming back to another trick. When we were small, at least we wrote a lot on the notepads or on our notebooks continuously and all the time. So that helped our learning memory a lot for day-to-day life, our recall memory a lot. Recall is a very, very important factor as you are digitizing more. When you digitize, you only have maybe 5 to 10% of your memory. I mean, you only remember that much versus when you write something down, it remains in your memory because there is a physical action, there is an extra effort done, and that is what is in your muscle memory too. So this is where, uh, doing exercises or simple or short practices that help us in our day-to-day life in regaining our muscle memory really, really is very beneficial. So when you start facing these challenges, I have actually integrated my personal calendar as well in Google Calendar. Earlier, I used to find it very weird because I was like, hey, Google will know where I'm going for a party. Google will know it's my aunt's birthday or it's my birthday. But trust me, all these things, as we digitize more, there will be something called as micro stresses. Micro stresses, if day to day not addressed, let's say in 2 to 3 weeks time, or you don't make a short note of it for me to get back to it later, will eventually snowball into big mental health issues that you might not even know. So I'm talking about certain stressful situation where you have to deliver something, be it your examination deadline, be it conducting this event, or something huge. Not huge maybe in the terms of quantity, but huge in the term of cognitive load, your mental load, you know. So in such cases, the best go-to mechanism for all of you is, or for anyone is, what is my input and what is my expected output, and what is the top three that I can do right now. I'm repeating myself very slowly. What is my input and what is my desired output, and what is the top three that I can do right now? Okay. So I will take the example of my live seminar. So definitely I got a lot of help from the institute, back and forth talking, me preparing, me preparing the huge topic and writing my top threes every day. In such a fashion, I was able to balance not only my work schedule. I have a very hectic travel schedule. I lose almost 3.5 hours of my life daily commuting, or maybe more if there is a strike. But in this time, what I do is I really think and write about the next day, because I know physically for me it won't be possible, but I write it so there is first my cognitive load is reduced. You know what, Shreyasta? This cannot be done. Let's shift it to Sunday, or let's shift it to the next week. But this I can do. And I pat myself in the back. You did it. Maybe it was just setting the reminder. And that is a micro win. Trust me, that is a micro win. A micro stress should be balanced by a micro reward. I have a big task. I have to make biryani. So what should I do? I should have the vegetables. I should have my spices. I should have my nice quality of rice. Next, what will I do? So let's say there is that very big saying, let's tackle the frog. But what if the biggest, eat the frog first? Eat the frog first means tackle the biggest part first. But in this case, I would like to introduce you to, slowing the mind a bit. There might be many tasks which are very heavy loaded, and just choose one or two which is heavy. Next, categorize your task with what is the medium that I can do the medium. And then when you really feel that I really have no cognitive balance or something, do the smallest of the things and keep everything for later. Take the time, shut your shut your digital devices, take a deep breath, go and drink water, look into the nature, come back and take a 15-minute break. A 15-minute breaks helps you a lot. Have these practices of accepting 15-minute breaks in knowledge working situations, or even work in Pomodoro technique fashions, which is like think heavily for 25 minutes, take a 5 to 10-minute break, and then come back and resume your 25 to 30 minute. And don't do it more than 3 to 4 hours, because that is enough. That cognitive load is actually more than enough for you to go through the day, and then rest of the day just focus on other meetings or other past topics. So balancing your cognitive load, the key to this is definitely your having your go-to lists, categorizing them as hard, medium, easy, and then just picking up according to what you think is doable for you, and just doing that. Other things that will help you regain this perception is no digital media lunches. Really, when I'm having my lunch, or when I am trying to, if I don't have anyone to interact with, I really don't take my phones. I really don't answer that meetings anymore. I don't arrange calls anymore. You might think, oh, I am missing out on something. Oh, that important meeting. Oh, this. You really don't know whether it will really turn out to be a certain outcome. You are just assuming that it might be. But I mean, the better way to tackle this is try to understand what are what are the past activities done, or this activity really going to help me in achieving this particular outcome. And be very objective about it. Write down action A, is it leading to action B? Let's wait and watch. And even if after a couple of observations you're not getting it, stop doing that activity, do something else. Another thing what I really want companies to encourage is power naps, or just refreshing your mind, or having places where in company people can have their meditative space, have their quiet time, have their quiet rooms, have their quiet boxes. In Europe, definitely these systems are there. I as more and I've not heard about these systems in India. Maybe they are in nice companies, but not everywhere. You don't exactly need a room, but you just maybe, you can say everyone, hey, I need my quiet time. I need my 5 to 10 minutes. I will be back. You cannot, if you say leave me alone, that's very rude. And that is not something that in the soft skills manual will be accepted. But just say, you know what, I need my quiet time. I will be back in 15 minutes. Or if you have this crazy deadline, you just say, you know what, I am in step one and step two, and this is where my analysis is. I will need some extra time to accomplish this task, because I still need to figure out the details, because the devil lies in the details. Yes, these are some good, positive, assertive sentences that definitely reduce your cognitive load, the load of your peers, and even your managers. Because if you say, I can't just do it when you are just dropped in the water or in that hot plate or in that situation, in the mind, it really feels like that. And there are n number of studies, especially the very important study which is done is with Olympic runners or athletes. When they're running, they say, close your eyes. In your mind, imagine that you're running, running, running. And when the heart rate and all the other biometric parameters were checked, even the oxygen levels, they were actually reacting the way that they were actually running. you know, or their heartbeat was really raised up at that time. Their oxygen, they were trying to take more oxygen, they were hyperventilating, and they had to be calmed down because our beautiful human brain doesn't know the difference of physical reality and the perception that it is creating. It thinks that it is actually happening in the same time. And this is also the reason why we also have these esoteric experiences, and I can go on and on and on, but that is not the scope of the topic. But coming back to what I'm saying, as our cars will be faster because we will have electric cars and we will have more and more AI coming into it. AI is not a perfect technology, let me tell you. It is still work in progress. So whenever someone is introducing new to you, ask them about the fallacies and have the courage to ask them what are your failing points and how and what are the steps you are taking to become better, because there is no one stop answer to, you just get a certain version, and that version has limitations. That's something that we should always remember. The next time you are about to buy that electric vehicle, definitely ask your manufacturers, what is the limit? How should I ride it? Will it work in a rainy condition or a winter condition? What do I do when it doesn't work? Because these are the exact points that will cause you a lot of stress and you will not know how to react. So building cultures of or building services and systems around human problems is actually the way to stay in the game. And the last step, the beautiful, it's my most favorite topic, is definitely avoiding to react and definitely work on building your emotional intelligence. It's something I am actively also doing, though I'm in the domain for 5.5 years. Life experience cannot be equated to your work experience. That's what I have learned. Another thing is journaling, planning, and mapping. It helps me a lot. And also, I actually, as a millennial or Gen Z technique, I have started writing less words, using more icons, even for my day-to-day life. When I tell my mind I have to wash clothes, I have to do this, instead I make small icons, and that icon helps me do ABC, and 1, 2, 3. So this is another technique that has helped me regain my confidence. And also, the last but the topic that I would like to address is neuroplasticity and rebuilding confidence. So, neuroplasticity is another heavy term, but I just want to illustrate something. The mind, going back to the first slide, is just like a paper. You can mold it the way you want it. Okay, if it is molded and shut down because of stress, because this is what happens when you are micro stressed or stressed, less oxygen flows into your brain. So when less oxygen flows, you are not using your full senses, you don't know, and then we are in a reactive state, even if we don't want to be. At that moment, make sure you breathe, you take deep breaths, and remember that your brain can regrow, it can be better, and it will be better. Trust me. So, and you need to maybe read about neuroplasticity and building confidence in your life, because it is possible to regain most of the lost stuff, most of our lost abilities. It might be through yoga, it might be through different Ayurvedic practices, it might be through, I don't know, jujitsu. That's the new term that I hear from my siblings. Or, or it can just be going out in the nature, or it can just be just doing nothing. Because doing nothing and feeling, if you're feeling continuously lethargic, it's a big sign that you are going through some unaddressed problems, and definitely take the right help and the right guidance to address this. Thank you so much. That completes my 1 hour. I'm looking at the clock and I'm now ready to take your questions.
That's great. Thank you, Shreyasta, for thank you for that great session. I think we have one question in the Q&A section on Zoom. We have someone anonymously has asked if you think digital detox is important and what role it plays in maintaining good mental health?
Exactly. I mean, if you have, why did I say no media lunches or, taking off from social media? Because you really don't need that much information. And it's okay to forget someone's birthday or just automate it, just automate that process. If there is an event or something, because day in and day out, I feel digital detox once a month, I think, is now going to be the new mantra, because we cannot live without our gadgets. We are heavily dependent on it. And more devices are actually being made to, I mean, even right now as we speak, there is AI that is, as a button, is reducing noise. Earlier you might have used you to need to buy these huge bulky headsets from Sennheiser or Blueponct, or all these fancy names that I cannot pronounce. But yeah, I think digital detox is the way to go. And definitely when you wake up, I mean, try to go at least your waking up time. Make sure you have a nice alarm. Make sure that when you get up, you have your water next to you, just some water. Uh, and you do your first 5 to 10 minute is without the screen, and then you see the difference. Just the starting 10 minutes is going to determine uh, a good day, a cognitively fresh mind, and a fresh day. So those are my tips.
Thank you. I think those are great tips. I think the smallest of things can make the smallest of difference for the
Changes.
time being, but in the long run, it will be a bigger difference. Eh?
Yes.
Okay, great. We have another question from a YouTube viewer who has asked, "How good are mental health apps?"
Um, Definitely, I have used some of them. Also, I have been a part of building some of the features as well. Well, it really depends. I mean, I know about BetterHelp. That is an application from US, and that definitely it takes your history, and it matches you according to who they think is the right person, has the right qualification. But at the end of the day, it's even you. If you are not feeling good after using it, then don't use it. Or if you are not happy with a therapist, try to change them. And then if it's repeatedly happening, I do think that there is an issue. But apps like BetterHelp and Mindfulness, there is another one. These two are really good. And I've also seen people also put up applications in their screen, which after 25 minutes pushes like a bubble out. You need to take a break and take a break. Such applications really help because you need to break that train of thought, need to look around and come back and rethink. And you will be able to rethink because of neuroplasticity. And and also things like eating 2 walnuts, or eating that soaked almonds. These things definitely help, and brain exercises or hit trainings, physical, because you need to balance these three things: physical, emotional, and mental health. And now, I believe, like, people used to run 30, 40 minutes because we used to do more physical activities. But meditation, really, or just calming your mind down for 15 to 20 minutes will help you more in the long run. And you might not even need these frequent digital detox weeks. If you just have this 10 to 20 minutes for you, yourself, you are actually good to go. You are back in that rhythm. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Shreyasta. While I ask you the next question, I'd like to remind all our attendees that we do have a reward for the best asked questions. So this would be the time to ask any of your questions. Okay. Until we get more, we have another one, who's someone has asked us, how do you speak up when so much stigma exists and being judged is a very valid fear?
It's
How
totally
do you speak
valid.
up about mental
Oh,
health? I'm
I
assuming.
exactly. This is my favorite question. I've been through it myself because I was in another country. It was a different language to learn, different climate. You just cannot go out, and and it was very rude to the other culture. But really, this is where emotional intelligence cultural understanding plays a big role. Try to, try to make people understand, because even, I mean, especially if you look at the LGBTQ thing, if I'm community, I feel like no one is sometimes addressing them because there is a generation gap, and then you don't know how to deal with this. So for companies, I would really, really want them to have good neuroscientists or good psychologists, well trained people, because there has to be a way out. There has to be that one non-judgmental third party person where they can just blurt it out, blurt it out without feeling bad. And if it is not within your peers, you should definitely seek out help, because it can go against you, and it is going against many people. So, it's like if you speak your mind, you are out. So I really cannot help the person's present reality or surroundings, but I would definitely ask them to look for people who are emotionally intelligent, and you could really confide in them and see how they react. Don't blurt it out everything. Do a small tester. We all of us, before, if for example you want to feed your dog, you won't go with the whole package. You will give him little by little. Try it, see people's reaction, see if that reaction is helping you. If not, avoid it. Really, it's best to avoid these people rather than, and if that culture is really affecting you, I would really suggest to switch. Really, trust me, it's a difficult thing to do. Save up for a month or something, but definitely ask for help. I hope that answered the question.
Yes, great. Thank you, Shreyasta. We received another question here on Zoom anonymously. I think no one wants to win the reward.
It's okay. It's totally
How
fine
can
because it is a
employers?
topic. How do?
Yeah.
How
The
do?
question is, how can employers promote mental well-being in remote work settings?
That is very true. I feel yeah, I wanted to address surveillance capitalism, because this is something, I don't know if all of you have come across this, but iPhone actually takes a photo every 15 or 5 seconds. Android doesn't do that, I know it. And a lot of these so-called employers who themselves have these narcissistic tendencies, it's a really different topic. But they are like, oh, how will I know he or she is working? And most of the knowledge work, you're actually sitting and thinking like this. Like even me, I'm sitting and thinking like this, and it is misinterpreted as, oh, she's such a millennial, oh, he's such a Gen Z. He's actually thinking, he's really jogging his memory lane. How will I do it? I mean, even in my workplaces, when we have like when I was working in Bosch, I believe 5, 6 years ago. Yeah, I was working on a system that will help bikers regain their consciousness, and I was working mainly on accident analysis and making more cognitively safe application. Now it is called computer vision, but I will share an insight from this. When I'm working or I'm thinking or I'm sitting on the desk, the whole computer science group was like, when people used to come for inspection, and it was like, old school inspection. So they said they are old school. Act like you're working, act like you're doing something, act like you're busy, act like you're talking. We were really instructed that. And that came to me as a big surprise, that even though I'm in Europe and I think, okay, it's modern, it's all nice, and mental health talks are around, we can blurt our hearts out. No, no, that's not the reality. You have to be like, act like you're working, like really. I mean, for certain cases, yes, but for remote things, they should demand that there is less surveillance on them. If you really want to check whether a employee is working or not, Have meetings with them, ask them what's up, how are they doing, what is the progress, are you stuck anywhere. That is a more human way that will engage the participant. There is a reason I conducted polls with all of you. I don't know you, but I cannot be like, I don't know them, I don't care. No. I asked you questions because I want you guys to know me, I want you guys to understand. I may not be related to you, but trust me, I have been through those problems just like you are facing it right now. And I believe that, trust me, these conversations, and start talking about it, start talking about it in a bar, start having small games, have that Sudoku match or have that, hand football games, and drop this topic in your tea conversation and say it with empathy. Say it like, you know what, some people are experiencing this and they are having a bad day. What do we do? It starts with acknowledgement that yes, there is a problem. Then acceptance. Yes, there is a problem. Not, you should not go and do morchas and strikes, this and all. That is very extreme. But if people are smart enough, and your peers and your seniors or your juniors, you never know where the help is coming from, so make this your water cooler conversation. Instead of talking about what Karina wore, why don't we let's talk about, what, I really had this bad headache, are you experiencing it too? Because if you there is another thing in the corporate culture that needs to really change. अरे इसको तो हमेशा headache होता है, it's this, it's that. Trust me, the micro stresses starts with headache. Depression starts with headache. Yes. uh, People might come back to me and say that you're not a licensed professional or something. I am training in NLP, but I'm just saying that we need to catch the problem at the bud of it. Of course, you will have some positive stresses and negative stresses. There is a stress, oh, I want to become better, I'm learning something new. You will have a headache, come on. But if there is a headache that someone is troubling you, someone is constantly monitoring this, there's an eye behind me all the time. No, that needs to be negotiated. I have negotiated it. If you want to surveil my camera and my eye movement and everything, because that is what these technologies are doing in the background, without your permission, remember, my dear friends, mental health is your right. Okay, mental health right now in the UN Charter, if you just Google it right now, you will see that it is your right. And the society, if there is a society that is not talking about these things, people are actually not building a good relationship. Because what is humanity at the end? If you have good mental health, if you are sound and wise, will you take good decisions for yourself, for your community, and that in turn will lead to socio and economic development. And if there are companies that are not addressing it, I really feel that the top level management should create a forum, should create more anonymous forums, or have leaders discuss this at line management level. You should hire a person or make that person a leader who is not, because narcissistic people are very good with what they do, because they shut their emotions down, and they just want to see next, 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 next. And that behavior, when it is trickling down to your flat hierarchy, will create really sad and depressed individuals. That's why talking about it or finding that one friend in another department will also help you, or someone online will also help you. So, and leaders and companies should emphasize more on building up good EQ. EQ should be the term, not IQ. Trust me, because good EQ will address all these problems and at least create a safe environment to speak up. I have a problem. Yeah. Thank you, Vati.
Thank you for that answer, Shreyasta. We have Sriramulu who's asked, he said he follows the Pomodoro timer, which is 30 minutes focus and 5 minutes break. Do
Right.
you think 15 minutes break is practically possible?
Depends. Like, if sometimes I'm in meeting for 1 hour and I've had a long, crazy way, I take that break. I just grab my Of course, I've also reduced my coffee intake. I have just stuck to one or two. I have now moved to tea. Just take that cup and just put hot water or lime or something. Go out, look outside the window. Because the brain fog that you have developed at that moment, it's really a brain fog at that moment. It's like imagine you're driving and suddenly there is fog. Exactly, that is what is happening in your mind. And you need to clear this fog immediately, even though you have to face smog outside. But for you, you need that 15-minute break. Take it. Take it. It's okay. Close your eyes, shut down, put your hands like this and come back, because that will help you to cope with that stress at that moment. And don't care about if people will make fun of you or your manager will see it. It's you who needs it, no one else. And you know what, the first SOS communication, you will ask for SOS, right? But when your perception doesn't know, there is a loss of perception, there is a loss of signal and inside your mind. And if there is a loss of signal, how will you ask for SOS? Your mind will just slip down like this. Most of my AI applications that I have developed, you know what I was trying to achieve? I was just trying to achieve the eyelid, whether it's closed or it's open, because your mind shut down automatically. That's why most of the accidents are happening. A majority of the accidents are not because people are drunk. I mean, that happens, rich people or I don't know, crazy drunk people do it. But 60 to 70% accidents on the road happen because you're tired. You're just tired. You just couldn't take the bumpy roads, the long drives, the dirty roads, or अरे मेरा contract नहीं हुआ, this bullshit happened. It's just you're tired. And imagine when I told in our session that the mind unfortunately doesn't know the difference between a physical activity and the activity in the load. So whatever you're doing, the mind is thinking, I have 10 kgs or 15 kgs on my shoulder. That is the level of fatigue. So the person sitting in front of you might see, hey, he's just sitting and doing something, or he's just done something. Why is he feeling so tired? Because according to you and your brain's registered, you have already done Olympic level training for that day, mental training. And then it trickle downs in your shoulders, it trickle downs on our lungs and our stomach and kidneys. That's why you will see so many people now suddenly having heart issues, stomach issues. Maybe they're just having one or two drinks. They're like, my lifestyle is healthy, this and that. You'll see young professionals dying at the age of 40. I'm earning X million zeros, मैं करोड़ों में कमा रहा हूँ. You're Tata bye bye at 40. Why? Why do you want that? Why can't you make a culture where I say, no, stop, this is my no? Yeah, I am a person with 140 IQ. AI has helped me. AI actually helps you better your cognitive abilities. There are many apps, there are many practices which helps you rebuild your neuroplasticity. But you don't have to be a geek all the time, right? Yeah? Just take a chill pill and it's okay to be dumb. Machines are going to replace us. I mean, that's what I told myself, after getting repeated rejection. Like, machines will take over anyway. Why am I, stressing over this 5-minute bullshit that eventually will give me a heart attack? I will not have the opportunity to go out and explore life. No, so these are very important things. Like, I don't have scary graphs right now, but trust me, I'm seeing this. A lot of research is suppressed. A lot of people like me are asked to just shut up, and I'm like, I'm a person who believes in speaking up. So, yeah, here you go.
I think the problem that exists is the stigma again, right? We
Stigma.
as humans we obviously require breaks, but the whole corporate culture, the hustle culture, kind of makes us think it's not okay to take breaks. But
Yeah,
I think it's
but I,
important to give yourself
yeah.
the grace to just take a break.
Exactly. And make reels about it. I mean, come on, I'm on a break. Exactly. Make it. So if there is a corporate force that is saying, oh, you should hustle, capitalism is at its peak, make it a culture, because it's our generation that will dictate the culture. It's not the above generation. I gave instructions, you just have to follow it. do it. This is the deadline, blah, blah, blah. There is this Q1, Q2. You just say, I did 30%. My mind has shut up. This is your output. This is my capability. This is who I am,
Yeah.
and make it, I think, make it fashionable to take breaks. And we have to speak up, we have to be the crusaders of our own journey. And we have to really create this, and it will come via social media only. How do you think, if you go and imagine, how do you think, why do you think people are smoking too much and then people are hiding? Because they are so stressed, they want to take that puff instead of being judged, because you listen to these people, they're extremely smart people who are going through the moment of stress. If you tell him, go and do Anulom Vilo, he'll give you one tight slap. Let him have the smoke, let him take it out of his system, because when he or his stress level, or he or she's stress level will come down, they themselves will know, you know what, I could have handled this better. But give them that time, give them that time to rest and recover, for them to realize that next time I will do it like this. They will, because when they are well rested, they will ask others, hey, how did you handle this? But if you're not giving the person to the time to realize, rethink, and come up with its own, and give them the free platform to ask these questions, and give them, I want it tomorrow, just say it's tomorrow is for my human capabilities is not possible. I really answer like this, so I hope it helps. It will, if you start saying no, and if you make it fashionable and acceptable, humans will eventually follow it, because that's the culture you will build. Yeah.
Agreed. I think it has to start from within. Like, you
It
have to take
has to
that.
start, and
Yeah.
courage, courage,
Yeah.
courage. It's there within. It's like sitting like this wants to come out. It's the cat that wants to come out of the bag. It's already there. It's your, now is courage. Do I have the courage to confront it? Because even my body shakes. So I think it's being extremely honest with yourself first, saying it out, and like, we say, jo bhi hai hoga dekha jayega. Really. And it was very hard for me to get into this. I'm like, what are these people saying? Jo bhi hoga dekha jayega. What? Like, my job is gone. How will I pay my bills? But trust the process, trust the universe. There are good people out there, and we have to really talk about this, because this is our problem. I call it ours, and I'm talking about everyone. Don't think I'm leaving the baby boomers. Or, for example, I will tell a small example of my father. He was very afraid to ask me, how does this button work? What is this? He was feeling so ashamed to ask me. And then I realized that he is also human after all. you know it's okay to not know, and sometimes even I am lost. Okay, what does this button do? Because we are not reading manuals, we are just used to clicking, and something just happens. So ask and say no. Step up for yourself, have the courage to do that. Yeah.
Very true. We have Hegde who's asked us, how can social media be used more effectively to bring people with mental health problems together and help them connect instead of isolating in alone spaces?
Lovely question. In fact, I've come across in my journey people from institutes who are having loss of hearing, or who are having loss of vision. These things happen. So there has to be dialogue. Start with newsletters. Start with the power of storytelling. That yes, this is the issue of our society, and there is a big percentage of it. Make groups, make associations of them, and talk about them at least 5 to 10 minutes anywhere. Start with a reel. Start with a positive thought related to this, tie it up on Twitter, and have these forums which are going to talk about it. Have the associations, make it legitimized, and create applications. There has to be a better joystick out there that is also working for people who cannot see. Because I know that there is a restaurant. I think there are two or three in India, maybe one or two. I'm not getting the name at the back of my mind, but all the employees have certain, hearing loss or physical loss, and how they combat that, how they combat this situation. They have better designed furnitures, they have better haptic sensors, or the braille system that you see. Those things have been designed because someone asked for it. you know I mean, what I love about where I am right now, I'm in Germany, but I did see, like, I'm here now, it's gonna be like 9 years. I feel like, oh my God, another decade. But 5 6 years ago, there was no one talking about instructions for people with visual sorry, hearing loss. But nowadays, when the announcement happens on the build on the screen, we have a screen at every junction. They do have a sign language also, a small pop-up coming up. This is the next station, this is the that. That's great. Simple design, clever designing will bring inclusivity. When you are designing your products, make an emphasis, at least write there 2 to 3 lines, that in the next version, I think we should have these inclusive features. How that will happen, how when someone will take it up, then there will be a research team that will sit upon it, then there will be a material team that will, it's a process, maybe it takes 5 years, but you wrote about it, and you did your job, and you spoke about it. Trust me, that is how, the Chinese whisper game, it works everywhere. So bring it out. I hope I answered their question.
Great. I think due to time constraints, we can take the last question.
Yes,
Um, you suggested taking the easier tasks first. In this way, when do you think the hardest tasks can be accomplished?
very good question. So I think when I the context here is, when I say easier task first, when you are depleted completely, and you want to do that one small micro win to win your day, do the easy one. Go back home, sleep over it in a fresh mind. When you have a fresh mind, it can be after a week. Ask for that time, because harder tasks which means it's a complexer situation, which means you don't have all the details. Maybe you just know 20 to 30% of it, and it's served on your plate as this is the 100% of it. Always be in the investigative mode, and always forgive yourself first. When you are from here refreshed, if you have slept 8 hours, if you have drank your water, if you are mentally, you have done that mental prep, then take up that hard task. That's the right time. Thank you. I hope I answered your question.
That's great. Thank you, Shreyasta. Just one second, let me just share my screen. Okay, great. That brings us to the end of today's
Yeah, thank
session. I want to thank you for your thought-provoking insights, Shreyasta. I think you've provided some great insights, that will make us all reflect and take our mental health more seriously.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Just
yeah.
talk about it. Don't take it seriously. just
Yeah,
just
taking
just
it
know
seriously,
that
like,
it's,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. I mean, talking about it, making an open culture. I think that is the first step, and then we all are at ease. Yeah.
I think the first step is actually acknowledging it and accepting it yourself to be able
Uh,
to seek out that. Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you, Shreyasta. We've enjoyed having you with us. It's been a complete pleasure. We really appreciate you sharing your valuable time with us. This certificate of appreciation is from the Product Leaders Forum and Institute of Product Leadership. The QR code on the certificate will actually take you to the dedicated Hall of Fame page that's been created just for you. It will include the recording of this session. The recording of this session will also be available on our YouTube channels. I will share that across with you. I want to thank you once again for delivering this brilliant session.
Yeah, thank you so much, Hardly, and I thank the of Product Leaders Forum and Leadership for this wonderful opportunity, and also Seema, thank you so much. I'm sure you will watch the recording later. It was great to have you, and thank you for all the lovely questions. Really great, super intelligent audience, super engaging. I hope we there are more cool sessions like this, and I bring you more cool insights. Thank you for coming, and yeah, thank you for the opportunity.
You. So I think this leads us, as you mentioned, we had some good questions. This leads us to the time for you to choose the best asked question. So the winner will be receiving a digital learning course from the Institute of Product Leadership of their choice. Maybe we can go through the answered questions in the Q&A section.
Yeah, yeah, I'm going through this. I think definitely I like both the questions of Shira Mulu and Subaru Hegde. I think the most effective one or the most thought-provoking for me was from Subarao Hegde. I hope I pronounced the name correctly. So yeah, I think
Okay,
this question
great.
was
Great. Congratulations, Hekti. You won the best asked question for today's session. The institute will get in touch with you via email to, you know, convey the necessary details. Congratulations. Okay.
congratulations. Yes, yeah, great.
Thank you,
Yes.
Shreyasta. Um, I'm sure you've all had an insightful and productive time at today's session because I know I have. So you can get ready for such more valuable sessions. Our next session is on the 26th of March, which is this Tuesday, on breaking stereotypes and reimagining careers, where the multi talented Miss Soumya Rajendran will be sharing her inspiring career journey. You can make sh- you can make sure to register for the same and join us. This session promises to be enriching. As mentioned before, the most exciting element of this whole summit will be our in person conference that is taking place on the 7th of April here in Bangalore. Join us to hear from these and many more inspirational women. You can find out the information for the summit conference by clicking on the link in the chat. Finally, I want to thank all our attendees for joining in and giving us your valuable time. I'm sure you've had a fruitful time at today's session. I'll wait here to let you go ahead and scan the QR codes on the screen to leave any reviews, feedback, or queries. I'll just wait here for a couple of seconds to give you time to scan the code. We'd love to hear about your experience at today's session, so you can go ahead and share your thoughts by scanning the QR code. Okay, great. Finally, this brings us to a close for today's session. It's been a pleasure having you all here with us today. I look forward to hosting you again at the next session of the Women in Product Summit. On that note, I'll end today's session. Thank you, everyone. Have a very good day.
Thank you. Bye
Thank you,
bye.
Shreyasta.
Bye bye.